Let's bring in Cheri Bustos. She is a former Illinois Congresswoman from downstate and political consultant. Thanks so much for being with us this morning again. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Dana.
What did you think about the Obamas and their speeches and the messages in those speeches?
Oh my gosh, what a night for the folks who weren't in the arena. I wish you all could have been, because the vibe was unbelievable. It was off the charts. Everybody was going wild. I actually was on the floor last night, so I was much closer than I had been the night before. When I thought the speakers were amazing, and I thought that Hillary Clinton was the best on Monday night, and I think last night it was Michelle Obama. I thought she even outdid her husband, which is nearly impossible to do. But great message. If I could share one line that I thought was amazing, is when she said, "Don't expect somebody to reach out to you all the time and ask you to get involved and ask you to help. Get over that. Just get involved." And I thought, that wasn't like the line of the night, but it was one of the most practical lines of the night. If we're going to win this thing as Democrats, it's going to take people saying, "I'm going to go knock doors, I'm going to make phone calls, I'm going to write postcards, I'm going to do all the stuff that you need to do to win these things."
Yeah, that line very much sort of carried on a big part of her speech, where she kept saying, do something, right? Do something. She repeated that over and over. Bill Clinton speaking tonight to a party that is much different from the one he presided over during his days as president in the 1990s. So how is the party changing now while paying tribute to its past? How do you juxtapose those two things?
Well, I'll also juxtapose those by saying what the clear contrast is between the Democratic National Convention and the Republican National Convention. There wasn't a George Bush or a Bush family member to be found. They didn't talk about their past, because they're all about Donald Trump. They're the party of Trump. And so with Democrats, we honor those who served and served well. We've got some amazing orators. We saw that last night with Barack Obama, who I consider one of the best orators in political history. Tonight we'll hear Bill Clinton. What I always like about Bill Clinton is he can take complicated topics, issues, and make them understandable and simplify them. It's like when he was running, "It's the economy, stupid." And I'm not calling anybody stupid. That was the phrase back in the day.
Yes,
I think we'll hear him just talk about what's ahead for Americans in a way that we can all understand and resonate with.
Which is so important, right? Humanizing people too, and making the candidates seem like they could be your next door neighbors, very important. And speaking of that, we're hearing from Governor Tim Walz tonight, the VP nominee. You were in Congress with him for several years before he became governor of Minnesota. Did you two work together on any specific legislation?
Yeah, we actually worked very closely together for a number of reasons. First of all, the congressional district that he represented was along the Mississippi River, as was mine in Illinois, his in Minnesota, obviously. His district was very rural, a lot of farm families. Same thing with the district that I represented in downstate Illinois, with close to 10,000 family farms. So we worked very closely together. We served on the Ag Committee together. And then also worth noting, he was my mentor. He was assigned to me when I was an incoming freshman member of Congress, and he had been, at that point, he was in his third term. So he's a friend, and I'm very proud of him. And I think as Americans get to know him even better, they're just going to be wowed by this guy, because he is what he appears to be is what he is.
Oh, that's so great to hear. I mean, in terms of being genuine. Cheri Bustos is a political consultant, former Illinois Congresswoman. Thank you once again for joining us, and we look forward to hearing more from you this week, especially after your former mentor, Tim Walz's speech.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you.